We want you to work smarter, not harder when it comes to your social media content, which means you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time you're posting. We want you to use your already created content and repost it on most social platforms. Now, this is going to be relevant to TikTok, this is going to be relevant to Instagram, but it does not count for YouTube or YouTube Shorts because it's a search engine rather than a social media platform. And once you post it on YouTube, it will live forever. As people are searching for it, they'll continue to get hits. It is not the same as TikTok and Instagram. When it does come to TikTok and Instagram, you want to make sure that you're reposting old content. Not all of it, not in the same order, but you want to make anything that is relevant, evergreen, and is going to get that engagement and that relational conversation going, repurposed again and again. There's lots of different ways you can do this, from taking the exact same content and reposting it to tweaking it a little bit and putting it on. We've discussed this at length here on the channel. Go through the playlist. There's lots of examples. But when you are taking that content and directly reposting it, how often can you be doing that? Let's break it down for you. So when it comes to this, you want to make sure you have enough time that people have forgotten about the first time you post it. When you post a piece of content, people will see it and they're going to continue watching content. Will they remember it the next day? Probably. Will they remember it a week from now? Probably. How about 3 weeks from now? Yeah, they might remember it at that point. After a month or two, they're probably going to forget the exact words that you've said. Now, it's important to remember we want to say the same concept again and again and again. It takes people 7 times hearing something or seeing something before they start to internalize it or make a decision or take action on it. So if you have a point that you're teaching, you want to say it over and over and over again. You want to say it over and over and over again in different ways. You want to be unique. You want to redo things. You want to have those conversations so that people get it in a way that is easy to consume for them. Not everybody resonates with the same video, but if they hear it in a different way, they might get it. So you should be taking your key points and doing it over and over and over again. You want to make sure that you're reiterating what you're saying so that people can learn, they can internalize, and they can engage with it in the way that they need to. That means you have then the ability to take those word for word exact copies and put them back on social media. You just want to give it enough time for your current fans to have forgotten that it was exactly the way that it was. Now, mostly as you're reposting this, it's not for your old existing audience. Sure, it's a refresher course for them, but for the most part, it's going to be for your new audience, the people who have joined you in the last month, 6 months, year, however long it is that you've waited to post. And different types of content can have different lengths. So if it's something you're saying over and over again, if it's an important point, if it's something you really want to be pointing out and doubling down on and reiterating to your fans, do it more often. I typically wait a couple of months before I'm reposting my content. I would say at minimum, you want to wait 1 month. I usually wait longer. I look at 4 months to 6 months for most of my content, but I'm also a high producing content creator. I create a ton of content. I put a ton of things out. So I have the ability to space things out more without burning myself out. You do not want to do it in the exact same order. Now, if you have a series, of course, that's going to be a little bit different. You will need part 1, 2, 3, whatever, and you're going to need those close together. But outside of that, mix it up. You can mix these things up so that they come out at times that are going to be differentiated from what you created before. So you want to make sure any content that is important you put into your schedule or you have sitting on your phone ready to go. You can even, and here's a pro tip for you, if you know you're going to be reposting a piece of content, put it into your TikTok or your Instagram and post it. But then go back and put it in again. Change your caption a bit. It should not be the same. You shouldn't use the same hashtags. You should be changing something up a little bit, whether it is the video itself and you're kind of redoing it or restructuring it a bit, or your caption, or both. At the very minimum, change your caption. So right after you posted the first time, put it in again, change your caption, and put it in your drafts folder. Now it's there. It's ready to go. So unless you've deleted and reinstalled your app, which clears your drafts, or you've changed your phone or your device or whatever it happens to be, it'll sit in your drafts. Then when you're ready to put it back out, it's there. All you have to do is hit the button and you're good to go. So you're going to take that content and easily put it in there so that it's ready when you need it. Other than that, let it sit on your phone, let it sit on a file on your computer, and move it over when you need to. I would say no less than 1 full month waiting to put it out there. I would prefer you wait 3 to 4 months to be putting something out there if you're going to rotate through your content. Or if you have a lot of content, wait even longer. That's completely fine as well. And then you're supplementing it with other new content in between. So you should not create a batch of content and then just rotate through it every 90 days. Don't do that. Have your content, pick the best of the best or things that you think should have gotten better engagement, and get ready to repost those in a few months. Around that, you're still creating new content. So you're creating an initial batch of content. The content that you like, that you want to repost, you're going to use again and have that as supplemental content within the context of the other content. Now you're continuing to build up your volume of content while still bringing in things from the past so that you don't have to create as much in the future. No less than 1 full month waiting. 3 or 4 months is probably ideal. You can then stretch it out as far as you want and go back as far as you want in your files if you still need content to repurpose. Whatever works for you, as long as it's not time sensitive, as long as it's evergreen content that will still be impactful to people, that's going to help you out. And the more supplemental content you can create around it, the better you're going to do. If you've got questions, go ahead and drop it down below and follow along, because every single day we're bringing you brand new videos, helping you navigate the world of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, live streaming, Lemon 8, and the other social platforms, and the tools and technology you need to save time and effort creating your social content so you can get your content done in 5 minutes every single day, start to finish, so that you can live your best life while also running your business without the stress and time commitment of a ton of time intensive content creation. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.